Nobody told you this, and that is exactly why you are still stuck. You have been asking the wrong question your entire life. Not a slightly wrong question, not a question that needs minor adjusting, a completely wrong question. And when you ask the wrong question, you will spend your whole life collecting the wrong answers, building the wrong structures, chasing the wrong targets, celebrating the wrong arrivals. You will reach a destination. Stand on top of it, look around, and feel nothing. Because nothing on the outside can satisfy something that is broken on the inside. The question most people are asking is this: what do I want to do with my life? And that sounds reasonable. It sounds mature. It sounds like self-awareness. But let me submit to you, that question is the most dangerous question a human being can ask, because it puts you at the center. It makes your feelings the compass. It makes your desires the map. And feelings are the most unreliable navigation system ever created. Feelings change with the weather. Feelings change with your bank account. Feelings change after one conversation with the wrong person. If you are using feelings to locate your purpose, you will be lost every single Monday morning. The right question is not, what do I want to do? The right question is, what was I made to solve? Those are not similar questions. They are not cousins. They are not even in the same family. One question starts with you. The other question starts with your manufacturer. And until you go back to the one who built you, you will keep guessing. You will keep trying things. You will keep pivoting. You will keep rebranding yourself every 2 years and calling it growth, when really it is confusion wearing a new outfit. You don't need motivation. You need revelation. Motivation is what you give a person when you do not want to tell them the truth. Revelation is what changes the way a person sees everything. And once a person truly sees two, you cannot make them go back to blindness. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Not abuse in the dramatic sense, the quiet kind. The kind where a gifted human being spends 30 years in a career that was never their assignment, doing good work, getting promotions, earning applause, and dying empty. That is abuse. That is a life lived in the wrong lane on the right road. You were moving, but never arriving. Think about a ship, a proper cargo ship, built in a shipyard, engineered with specific weight tolerances, given a draft measurement, designed for deep ocean water. Now take that ship and park it in a swimming pool. It will not function. Not because the ship is broken, not because the engineers made a mistake, but because a ship designed for the Atlantic Ocean cannot express its full capacity in a swimming pool. The problem is not ability. The problem is environment. And the environment problem is always a purpose problem first. Most people are living in swimming pools when they were designed for oceans. They took the safe option, the comfortable option, the option their family understood, the option that paid quickly. And now they are sitting in shallow water, wondering why they feel so compressed, so limited, so suffocated by their own life. And they keep redecorating the swimming pool, buying new things, changing relationships, switching cities, as if geography is the answer. Geography is never the answer. Alignment is the answer. Now let me teach you something that will reframe everything you thought you knew about purpose. Purpose is not discovered through preference. It is revealed through design. And design is always communicated through three things: construction, capacity, and constraint. Construction is how you are built, not your personality test results, not what your parents said you were good at. Your actual internal construction, the things that require no effort from you, but extraordinary effort from everyone else. There are things you do casually, almost accidentally, that leave other people stunned. You do not notice them because they feel normal to you. That is not coincidence. That is construction. A manufacturer does not add capability that has no function. Every feature in a product exists because it was needed for the product to fulfill its purpose. What comes naturally to you is a signal. It is the manufacturer communicating design intention through your experience. Construction without capacity is just architecture. Capacity is the second signal. Capacity is not what you can do on your best day. Capacity is what you keep returning to even on your worst day. After failure, after rejection, after embarrassment, after loss, what do you still find yourself gravitating toward? What still pulls you back? What still makes your mind alive even when the rest of your life is falling apart? That relentlessness is not personality, that is capacity signaling assignment. Your assignment will always be in the direction of your deepest capacity. And the third signal is constraint. This is the one nobody talks about because it sounds like bad news. But constraint is the most honest signal of all. There are things you simply cannot make yourself care about. There are industries that bore you to the point of physical discomfort. There are conversations that drain you within the first minute. There are roles that suffocate you even when they look impressive from the outside. Most people fight those constraints. They try to overcome them. They watch videos about discipline. They build morning routines. They read books about pushing through. But let me submit to you that some walls are not meant to be climbed. Some walls are meant to redirect you. A river does not fight its banks. The banks are not the river's enemy. The banks are what give the river its direction, its speed, its power. Remove the banks and you do not have a stronger river. You have a swamp. Shallow, spread too wide, going nowhere. Your constraints are your banks. They are telling you where you are not supposed to go, so that all of your energy concentrates in the direction you were built for. Now here is where it gets uncomfortable, because this is where most people quietly leave the room. Understanding your purpose is not the hard part. The hard part is that purpose almost never looks the way you expected it to look. It rarely arrives in a comfortable package. It rarely fits the timeline you planned. And it almost always requires you to walk through something you would never have chosen voluntarily. There was a man who spent years being passed over, overlooked, reduced to roles beneath his capability. Every door closed, every opportunity that seemed closed disappeared. People around him kept advancing. He kept waiting. And in that waiting, something was happening that he could not see. He was being formed. Not trained, not educated, formed. There is a difference. Education gives you information. Formation changes your character. And character is the only container strong enough to hold the weight of a real assignment. If you receive your assignment before your character is formed, the assignment will crush you. Or worse, you will corrupt the assignment. The waiting was not punishment. The waiting was preparation. And the preparation was more important than the position. This is why suffering is not the enemy of purpose. It is often the pathway to it. Not suffering for its own sake, not pain as a virtue, but the specific resistance that comes when you are being prepared for something your current self cannot carry. The pressure is not random. It is directional. It is forming you towards something. Let me give you another picture of this. A seed, by every visible measurement, looks like nothing. You hold it in your hand and you cannot see the tree. You cannot see the fruit. You cannot see the shade it will one day provide. You cannot see the birds that will eventually nest in its branches. From the outside, the seed looks like a dead end, a complete stop. Nothing to celebrate, nothing to announce. And then you bury it. You put it in the ground, covered with dirt, and walk away. And something happens in the darkness that cannot happen in the light. The shell of what it was has to break. The old casing has to crack open completely before the new thing can emerge. The seed does not grow despite the pressure of the soil. It grows because of it. You are not behind, you are in the ground, and the cracking you feel, the breaking of the version of you that no longer serves your assignment, is not destruction, it is the beginning of emergence. Now, let me show you how to actually know the purpose of your life practically, not theoretically, not philosophically, practically. The first thing you must do is stop interviewing other people about your assignment. This is the most common mistake I see. People ask their parents, their friends, their advisors, their mentors, what should I do with my life? And those people answer from their experience, their fears, their frameworks, their limitations. Your mother cannot tell you your purpose because your purpose was given before your mother was part of the equation. Your friends cannot tell you your assignment because they are navigating their own confusion. The only voice qualified to speak about what you were made for is the voice of the one who made you. And that voice speaks through your construction, your capacity, your constraints, and through the patterns of what keeps finding you even when you are not looking for it. Start paying attention to what finds you, not what you chase, what finds you. Problems that keep showing up in your world, questions that people keep bringing to you specifically, situations that consistently land in your lap, needs that exist everywhere you go. Those are not accidents. Those are assignments knocking on the door. Most people answer the door, look at what's standing there, and say, that seems hard. That seems uncomfortable. That seems like a lot of responsibility. And they close the door and go back to comfort. But every time you close that door, a piece of your purpose goes back with it. The second thing is this. You must audit your energy, not your time. Time management is taught everywhere. Energy management is taught almost nowhere. But time is not your most important resource. Energy is. Because 10 hours of low energy produces less than 2 hours of aligned energy. And aligned energy is what happens when you are doing work that is connected to your original design in that state. Fatigue behaves differently. Challenges behave differently. Monday mornings feel different. You are still working hard, but the resistance has a different quality. It does not drain you toward emptiness. It draws you toward depth. So audit your week, not for how you spent your time, but for when you felt most alive. When did the hours disappear? When did you lose track of time? When were you so absorbed in something that you forgot to eat, forgot to check your phone, forgot that anyone else existed? That absorption is a data point. It is your internal system telling you this is close. Pay attention here. The third thing, and this requires courage, is to stop protecting your comfort and start following your conviction. Comfort and purpose are not enemies, but they are rarely found in the same place at the same time, not at the beginning. Comfort comes after alignment, not before it. But most people want comfort before they are willing to commit. They want guarantees before they step forward. They want the road fully lit before they walk. But purpose does not work that way. Purpose reveals the next step, not the whole staircase. And you only see step 2 when you take step 1. Withholding step 1 because step 2 is not yet visible is a strategy for remaining exactly where you are. You will never think your way into purpose. You will only move your way into it. Now let me speak directly to the people in this moment who have spent years doing what was expected, what was safe, what was approved, and are now sitting with a quiet but growing sense of wrongness. Not failure, wrongness. Like wearing a suit that was made for someone else. It fits well enough, nobody notices, but you notice. Every single day you notice. And you have been telling yourself that the feeling is ingratitude, that you should be thankful for what you have, and you should be thankful for what you have. Gratitude is real, but gratitude and alignment are not the same thing. You can be genuinely grateful for a life that is not yet your assignment. You can be thankful for the chapter you are in, while knowing it is not the chapter you were written for. That knowing is not arrogance. That knowing is the manufacturer communicating through your internal system that there is more. That the current configuration does not represent your full design. That what you have built so far, as real and impressive as it may be, is not the finished product. Do not confuse a chapter for the book. The people who die the most satisfied are not the people who achieved the most. They are the people who lived the most aligned, who woke up and did the thing they were specifically constructed to do, who served the specific problem they were designed to solve, who poured themselves out in the direction of their original assignment and arrived at the end empty in the best possible way. Spent, used, fully expressed. That is the goal. Not applause, not wealth, not titles, full expression, complete deployment of what you were given, because here is the truth that most people never hear. And it is the truth that changes everything. You were not given your gifts for yourself. You were given them for others. Your purpose is always located at the intersection of your deepest capacity and someone else's deepest need. The moment you shift from asking, what do I want, to asking, who needs what I carry, everything rearranges. The confusion starts to clear. The direction starts to emerge. The assignments start to appear, because now you are looking outward instead of inward. And purpose is always an outward function. A light does not shine for itself. A bridge does not cross for itself. A doctor does not heal for himself. Function is always in the direction of others. And the person who has located their purpose has located the specific others they were sent to serve, the specific problem they were sent to solve, the specific gap in the world that only their particular combination of construction and capacity can fill. There is a gap in the world right now with your name on it. Not a gap that anyone can fill. Not a gap that the person next to you can fill by working a little harder. A gap that only you, with your specific wiring, your specific history, your specific pain, your specific capacity can fill. And while that gap exists, the world is incomplete. Not dramatically, not visibly, but structurally incomplete. The way a puzzle is incomplete when one piece is missing, the picture is almost there, but almost is not finished. You are that piece. And the question is not whether the gap exists. The question is whether you will stop hiding, stop waiting, stop doubting, stop managing other people's comfort, and step into the space that was always yours. Here is what I want you to do. Not next year, not when conditions improve, not when you feel ready, because ready is a feeling apt and feelings are unreliable. Here is what you do starting now. For the next 30 days, keep a single document, no elaborate system, one document. Every day, you write down 3 things. What drained you today? What energized you today? And what problem you noticed today that made something rise up in you? Anger, sadness, urgency, the sense that this should not be this way, do that for 30 days without analyzing it. Just collect. At the end of 30 days, read back through what you wrote. The patterns will be unmistakable. The construction will be visible. The capacity will be obvious. The constraint will be clear. And the assignment will begin to take shape in a way that no personality tests, no career counselor, and no motivational speech could ever produce. Because it will come from your own data, from your own lived experience, from the most honest intelligence you have access to, which is the record of what consistently moves you and what consistently empties you. Then take the pattern you find and act on it within 48 hours. Not a big action, a directional one. One conversation, one application, one email. 1 hour of work in the direction of what the data revealed. Because purpose is not a concept that rewards contemplation. It is a design that rewards deployment. You were not put here to figure yourself out forever. You were put here to function. And every day you spend in confusion is a day the people who needed what you carry went without it. The graveyard does not need more residents who arrive full. The world does not need more talented people who never found the courage to deploy what they were given. What the world needs, what this moment in history demands, are people who looked honestly at their construction, accepted their design without apology, stopped performing someone else's version of success, and showed up fully, completely, unapologetically in the exact assignment they were built for. That person can be you, not eventually. Now, the time for deliberation is over. The time for deployment has arrived. Your purpose is not lost. It was never lost. It has been inside you the entire time, waiting for you to stop looking everywhere else and look there. Stop performing and start functioning. Stop managing your image and start executing your assignment. Stop being a well-dressed imitation of someone else and become the fully expressed original that you were always meant to be. Be original, not a copy. Die empty. The time is now.